flesh this out a bit further, I'm joined by Sanusha Naidu, now political analyst from Cape Town. Sanusha Naidu, good evening, and thank you for joining us as we speak. You and I, as we speak at this moment, Ian Nelson is your mayor there in Cape Town. Is everyone going home happy this evening from the Democratic Alliance side, or did they really underestimate what this entails?
Well, good evening to us. I'm not sure if people are going home happy because of what the mess is like in the city of Cape Town, but definitely because there's rain in Cape Town. But, you know, having said that, I think this has just become an escalation of a complete mess. I mean, you're looking at the DA trying to, and this morning, you know, definitively coming out and saying, we found the evidence, she's indicated that she's going to resign, she can't be a member, we revoke her membership or rescind her membership. Lille is essentially contesting that. There's the whole question of the vacancy. I think what we are witnessing in the city of Cape Town is the DA's worst nightmare. And of course, the question is, how do people then react to this? Because as we speak, I think people are still trying to come to terms with what does it all mean from a technical perspective, but what it also means in going forward with with issues around governance of the city, the questions of dealing with the drought, the questions of the water restriction. There's a budget that's coming up which is being contested in terms of the tariff hikes, etc. So really, it's really in a serious state of crisis.
Sanusha, there's been a volley that has been fired at Patricia de Lille. I mean, you know, that's almost impossible to deny. From the Steenhuisen report, the Bowman-Gilfillan report, then you had the FedEx saying that they were going to charge her, but in the meantime, they were not going to support a motion of no confidence. And then almost a week later, they supported a motion of no confidence in council. It failed. It was followed by amendments to the Constitution, motion of no confidence that happened in caucus, and now this automatic expulsion kind of clause. Are we, as South Africans, trying to view Patricia de Lille as a victim, or, you know, is the DA right in this case to insist that she should be held accountable? She should never be beyond accountability.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tillis, because you're right about this volley of issues, or volley of salvos that they've basically launched one after the other. But what it comes across again is that the DA is also scrambling in its own need to try and find some kind of way in which to deal with this. From the perspective of the ordinary South African, from the perspective of South Africa in general, I think the real question here is she hasn't been able to have that disciplinary hearing. She survived the motion of no confidence by a single vote, but then of course she needs to have that disciplinary hearing, etc. There need to be that whole process in order for them to resolve this issue. And I think that in itself creates the uncertainty, because we're still waiting for that disciplinary hearing, which has also been contested because of her demand for it to be public, to have the media there. She's contesting that, and at the same time, it seems that the DA is becoming a bit impatient, and not a bit, very impatient, and is trying to find the ways in which to basically not go to this disciplinary hearing, so to speak, or to host it, or to hold it. So I think to a large extent, she's fighting that. And of course, I can understand the empathy that people may feel, but I think there's also the question of, has the DA handled this in the way, in terms of its processes, etc.? It's found the technicalities, but the technicalities are now being contested in a court of law.